Hello, book lovers! Today I'm going to talk to you about a novel that's in a series of 4 novels. It's about vampires. A vampire who doesn't eat humans, eats animals. He's in love with a girl within like a week. He pretends he's in high school and that he's mortal. He charms everyone. He has powers. He can run fast. He can mind read. The girl he falls in love with falls madly in love with him in a freakishly amount of time. Surprisingly enough, I'm not talking about Twilight. The Vampire Diaries, Book 1, The Awakening, Book 2, The Struggle. I had never heard of The Vampire Diaries before it became a CW show. And when I watched the first episode, I couldn't help thinking, oh my gosh, this is a total ripoff of Twilight. So I went on Wikipedia. Turns out, this book that's based on the CW series came out in 1991. That's pretty much 14 years before Twilight came out. Don't get me wrong, minus the 4th book in the series of Twilight, I really like Twilight. I've liked it since 2006, but I must admit that this Twilight mania that's been going on in the past 2 years has kind of got me scared to even mention that I like Twilight in a public setting. I still like the books though, and I like Stefanie Meyer, and I see where you think I'm going, and I don't think that she ripped off Vampire Diaries. Although I must say that there are some huge resemblances between the 2 novels. If you've been watching the CW series Vampire Diaries and you've read the book or you've heard about it, you might have heard that this book is completely different from the CW series. And it pretty much is, in small ways. They kind of messed up the main character, Elena Gilbert, the mortal that falls in love with the vampire. Yeah, she's supposed to be blonde and popular and really gets everything she wants. Not so much in the CW series. I'm kind of thinking CW took a little freedom and decided that we might not like Elena Gilbert as a blonde popular girl who gets every guy she could ever want. They kind of thought, maybe we should make her brown-haired, completely boring, no personality at all. In that aspect, I think CW ripped off Twilight a little bit in assuming that we'd like a girl that's a main character that's more like Bella. I would not like a main character that is more like Bella. In Vampire Diaries, the main character is Elena Gilbert, who has a personality. Stefan Salvatore, Italian vampire from the 15th century, moves to her small town in Virginia. In about a week, they fall madly in love with each other. Stefan really likes her blood, her scent's intoxicating. So weird. Stefan eventually tells Elena he's a vampire. And there's been really weird attacks all over the town where people's throats have been ripped open and blood drained from them. But once Stefan tells Elena he's a vampire, Elena has a feeling that Stefan hasn't been attacking these people. Stefan only drinks animal blood to survive. So who's attacking all these people? It's like there's some weird other evil vampires that came out of nowhere and decided to attack a small town. The really cool thing that I like about this book is that there is some conflict in here, and it's not between a vampire that wants to have the girl and a werewolf that wants to have a girl. It's between 2 vampires that want the girl. 2 brothers that are vampires that want the girl. Stefan Salvatore really wants Elena. Elena really wants Stefan Salvatore. But it gets complicated when Damon Salvatore, Stefan's older brother, shows up. He's also a vampire from the 15th century. And Stefan and Damon, well, they hate each other. Feuding for the last 400 years over a girl named Catherine who happens to look exactly like Elena Gilbert, which is really weird, so Stefan really likes her. Turns out some crazy thing happened with Catherine and Stefan and Damon in the 15th century that they've never been able to get over. You'll have to read the book to find out. The thing I really like about this book is more Anne Rice-like in its whole vampire thing. Vampires don't sparkle. They kill people. They're evil. They can't go out in the sunlight. Stefan and Damon have rings that can keep them protected from the sunlight. You can get into that later when you read the book. Okay, with these comparisons, I'm joking. I love Twilight, and I really loved The Vampire Diaries. And even though the series on TV is completely different from the book, I like the series too. And I admit, it's hard to be original with vampires. You could say Stefanie Meyer's vampires have fangs. Oh my gosh, so do L.J. Smith's vampires. Well, vampires have fangs. Common myth. There's only so far you can go to be original. However, I do get kind of mad when people say that this is a ripoff of this, when this came out 14 years before this. Girls, Edward is so 2005. Damon, so now. And I must say, I'm a Damon fan. Just something about the sexy bad boy that I can't get over. It's kind of like my infatuation with Draco Malfoy. Now that Twilight's over, I suggest you pick up Vampire Diaries. It's been out for 14 years, but it's just now becoming popular again thanks to the CW series, which I recommend you also watch if you're into vampires. It's actually really good. It's not a lot like this. They keep the same names, same brothers, same Elena. Elena's a little different than in the book. She's more reserved and quiet like Bella, whereas in the book she's more outgoing, and I like her a lot more in the book than I do in the series. Both books are about love triangles with vampires, except for this one's about a vampire and a werewolf, and this one's about vampire brothers. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to pick vampire brothers fighting over a girl any day than a vampire and a werewolf fighting over a girl. So I suggest you pick up L.J. Smith's Vampire Diaries, The Awakening and the Struggle. There's 2 more books in the series, which I will be reading, and this volume's great because you can get 2 books in 1 book, and it's only about $10. Please pick it up. If you like vampires, if you like Twilight, you'll like this. You can't spend all your time comparing Vampire Diaries to Twilight. They both have to do with the vampires. Obviously, there's going to be some similarities. They're 2 very separate books. I hope you like the Salvatore brothers as much as I did.